Next up in my series of video game movie reviews comes the first big budget video game movie. An American-made movie about a British character, played by an American actress, and also featuring an American character played by a British actor. Alright, let's do it. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider is the film adaptation of the crazy popular game that came out in the late 90s. The film stars Angelina Jolie and Daniel Craig. We follow Lara as she tries to decipher a puzzle left behind by her missing father years ago. All along, the Illuminati, are trying to decipher this puzzle so that they can find an ancient artifact that will give them godlike powers as well. This movie is very early 2000. Everything about it screams 2001. I saw this movie when it first came out, and quite honestly, I really didn't care for it much then. Now that was 17 years ago, so maybe my opinion's changed on it since then. First, what I did like. Angelina Jolie. She plays the shit out of Lara Croft. And she really looks the part too. She really embodies the confidence that Lara Croft has. Regardless of what you think of the movie, throughout the whole thing, Jolie does a fantastic job as Lara Croft. You totally believe her as this character. The movie has some really great sets too. You can see the money that they put into this movie all over the screen. All the sets are extremely big and expansive and very detailed. And if nothing else, they're really interesting to look at. The special effects as a whole are pretty good here too. Nothing stands out as just awful, that's for sure. Though the movie is 17 years old, so you gotta give it a little bit. It's definitely on par, if not a little bit above, 2001 era special effects, that's for sure. The real world locations it's filmed in are beautiful as well. This movie takes place all over the world, and they really took advantage of that and filmed in some beautiful locations. And it's filmed really well too. There's no shaky cam shit all over the place, even during the craziest of action scenes. And it does use big wide angles so you can see everything quite a bit, and I really appreciate that. And now for what I thought wasn't too hot about the movie. The story. Yeah, let's start there. The story's just really thin. It's not very interesting, nothing really happens that you're not expecting, and overall it's pretty boring. It's more or less used as a device to get you from action scene to action scene. And at a certain point it goes totally off the rails and gets really hokey and mystical. I'm okay with hokey and mystical, but you gotta be interesting too. The scenes in this movie just seem like levels from a video game. It's as if they had a lot of cool ideas for specific scenes, but had no way of linking all those scenes together. So they came up with a story that could kind of half-ass link them all together. I could maybe even get behind that if these cool scenes that they had great ideas for were cool scenes that had great ideas. But they're not. The action scenes in this movie are really kind of out there. The movie has a bunch of ridiculous out-of-place scenes that are really just there to set up an elaborate set piece. But when that action set piece doesn't end up working, then it really all just kind of falls flat. I mean really, there's some dumbass shit in this movie. At one point, right before she goes to bed for no apparent reason at all, Lara decides to go bungee jumping in her living room. And her butler sits there and tells her goodnight just like, hey, this is just how every night is. I mean really, she's bungee jumping in her fucking living room. Who does that? And then the action scene that ensues after that is just really ridiculous. And the physics, I mean there just aren't any. Now I'm okay with physics defying action scenes in movies. But in those movies that type of action works, there is a base for reality. It may not be our reality, but there is something in the movie that tells us this is their limit. This is what they can and cannot do, and here's why. Not in this movie. We're led to believe that this is based in our reality. However, Lara does some crazy incredible feats that just are totally incomprehensible. Like in the aforementioned bungee scene. When the bad guys come in, her ass is bouncing all over the room, cutting people up, beating them down from this corner to that corner, just all over the place. I mean, at one point it seems like it's attached over here. The next point it maybe seems like it's attached over here. It makes no sense whatsoever. And right after that, she jumps on a motorcycle and just all over the place with that thing, and it makes no sense at all. Don't get me started on that. And at the end of the movie, it goes really off the rails. She's bouncing all over the room, and it just makes no sense as to how she's able to do this, but nobody else there can. She is supposed to be a mortal human being. She's not a fucking superhero. This movie apparently also takes place in a world where everyone there is totally jaded beyond belief. Because some truly mystical, unbelievable, crazy things happen. Time being bent and moved, dogs jumping through weird time bubbles, and you get to see them deconstructed in essentially an x-ray of their whole body as it tears apart, and then comes right back together again. Centuries-old statues coming to life. All kinds of crazy shit like this. And everybody's just kind of like, eh. I mean, these are some truly what the fuck moments, and nobody gives a shit. They're all just cool as a cucumber, like it ain't no thing. We see this stuff every fucking day. There wasn't one single character that's fazed by any of this stuff. It's just a another day. For the most part, the performances in the movie are just kind of They're kind of what you expect. They're not good by any means, but they're not awful. They're just kind of There's a few hokey performances, but in this movie, I mean, what the fuck's that mean? I did like the villain, though. He was playing it hammy as hell, but he was the most entertaining character in the whole movie, that's for sure. He has some of the most ridiculous lines, but he delivers them with such venom and conviction, you just gotta love it. So coming back to it 17 years later, I'm kinda in the same spot when it comes to this movie. I just really didn't care for it that much. And it's not god-awful, it has its pluses. Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, the villain. That's really about it. But its thin, boring story really does it in. If you're gonna give this one a shot, check it out on Netflix if you don't have anything better to do. For a long time, a lot of people called this the best video game movie ever made. And I just really don't see it. So there it is, guys, my review of Lara Croft Tomb Raider. If you enjoyed and want more like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Who does this before you go to bed? Who does this, period? Admittedly, if I had the means, I'd probably do it.